Your application is approved. Line of credit, $100,000. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you some data points on a recent approval for $100,000 business line of credit. That's right. Now, of course, I do a lot of firsthand research. And so I was just going through the application process, right, to see what it was like. It says your application is approved. Please accept the offer below. And so this is for a $100,000 business line of credit. It has a variable rate, 10.5%, and this is going to be the Wall Street Journal prime rate plus the margin. This particular institution where I got this 100,000 is a local institution, but with what I'm going to share with you, you can actually replicate this. And so I've talked about how fintechs are changing the game, and not necessarily even fintech lenders, but fintech service providers, right? And so I did a separate video about Numerated, right? So real quick. So Numerated is a digital loan origination system, right? And this is what a lot of banks are moving towards because you can get a quick decision. So when I got the $100,000 business line of credit, I applied on a Friday evening, and by Tuesday, I had the approval, right? A lot of these fintech service providers are working with financial institutions to streamline their application and their loan origination system. So again, digital applications, digital underwriting, they're using AI to be able to automate the loan application process so you can get a fast decision. And I've talked about several of these. So you have Numerated. There's also Foundation, which a lot of banks use, like Citizens Bank. I've told you guys, take notice of these fintech service providers because they're using the same data sources and similar data points to evaluate you and underwrite you, right? Now, ultimately, each bank is going to have their own underwriting criteria, but where the information is getting pulled from is going to be very similar. So whether that's from the Social Security Administration, whether they're using TaxGuard or any of these other third-party APIs where they pull in information and they're able to verify a lot of information. So these are some examples of banks that are in the Numerated platform, but I've gone through the liberty of extracting data points that are going to be applicable to all of the lenders that are using Numerated as their loan origination system, right? And so some key data points you want to be mindful of, right? So they're going to pull your Experian personal credit, right? And so they have a threshold of 7+ inquiries. So if you're over 7 inquiries, it's automatically going to get flagged. So just keep that in mind, right? They're also going to use Experian Business, and within that, the FICO SBSS. So this is usually for business lending. It's a composite metric that looks at the beneficial owner's credit as well as the credit of the business, right? And most times FICO SBSS is used in SBA lending, but all of the banks in their platform are going to be using Experian, right? There's also a LexisNexis check. You also have OFAC. So there's a OFAC cross-reference. So for those who don't know what OFAC is, so OFAC stands for the Office of Foreign Asset Controls. And basically this is just a list. They want to make sure that you're not engaged in any type of illicit activities. So most people don't have to worry about this, but this is just another type of data verification. So they have these different lists of, people who are involved in certain activities. So if you're applying for loans and opening up bank accounts, they just cross-reference this list. Numerated will also do SSA verification. So the Social Security Administration verification. So as a lot of you guys know, Experian actually has a relationship with the SSA to verify a lot of, identity information. So, if you're putting something other than your Social Security number on a credit application, they can verify if it actually belongs to you or if it's a fraudulent Social Security number, whatever the case is, right? So you will need to have an operating agreement. And if you don't know where to get one, you can go to Rocket Lawyer, and, they have templates you could fill out. Also going to need 2 years of personal and business taxes, right? So that's going to be the main data point aside from your personal credit that they're going to be looking at. They may also check to see if you have any outstanding state or federal tax liens. So there's another fintech called TaxGuard, which can identify if, let's say you have back taxes that you haven't paid. That could be another reason why you get denied. And then business liability insurance. So I'll explain in a second, but this was important because the particular lender where I got this 100K line of credit, they pretty much require you to add them to your business insurance policy, right? All right, so here I'm actually logged into the portal. So I just wanted to show you guys in terms of what information I actually had to submit. Now, they offer business loans and lines of credit. Lines of credit actually go up to 500K. All right, so the first step is actually completing an application and then uploading documents, right? So in terms of the documents that were required, last 2 years of business tax returns, last 2 years of personal tax returns, articles of organization, government issued personal identification, so just like a driver's license, and then, as I said earlier, an operating agreement. So this was only probably a total of about, let me see, 2 tax returns, personal and business. So that's 4, about 7 documents total, right? And so if you're applying for credit, these are just basic documents that you should probably keep in a folder, like an operating agreement, your government issued ID, your articles of organization. So this was very easy to apply. So once you complete your request, upload your documents, at that point, that's when they'll do their due diligence. And then they pretty much will give you an offer really, really quickly. So again, here we are. It says your application is approved. Please accept below. And then again, $100,000 line of credit.